Hi, my name's Dave Whipple and you're watching Bushradical. I want to tell you guys today a story that I think is going to be of benefit to you. The year was 2001. My wife and I went on a day canoe trip with a couple friends. We floated a section of the Chena River, which is in interior Alaska, and it was supposed to take about 3 hours to get on the river, paddle the section, and then get off at the next place that the river crossed the road. Well, it turned out that it took about 9 hours. We either had wrong information or the water was running real slow, or whatever the case was. We planned for 3 hours and it took 8 or 9. It was about 90 degrees when we left. Blazing sun, just beautiful. We were all wearing shorts and t-shirts. In the middle of this trip, me and Eric, the guy who was paddling the canoe with me, we flipped the canoe in about 3 feet of water. Got our knees boogered up on the rocks on the bottom, and we're just soaked. But it's 85 degrees and it's sunny, so it's not a problem. You know, we'll just get back in the boat and go. Well, like I said, it took about 8 or 9 hours to do this section of river. It was a complete underestimation one way or the other on our part. And by the time we got off that river, I was severely hypothermic. As soon as I stopped paddling, I couldn't put sentences together. I couldn't use my hands at all. I mean, I was shaking violently. And it was about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I would say that the temperature was probably in the mid-50s. Now, on that trip, none of us had brought a lighter. None of us had brought warm clothes. It's the middle of summer. It's very hot outside. And we got ourselves in a pickle, especially me and Eric. Our wives were in a raft. They were fine, but we were hypothermic. We were in a bad situation. You eventually got to learn from your mistakes, right? So for the last 15 years, what I have always packed when I'm going out in the bush, especially on the water, are these things. Keep in mind, this is spring, summer, and fall. This isn't cold weather, this is warm weather. It could be 90 degrees out, and I'm going to grab a dry bag. I can take this dry bag, throw it in the bottom of my boat. If I flip a boat, if I flip a canoe, if I get rained on, stuff in this bag is dry. It stays dry. First thing that goes in the bag is a scarf. Keep your neck warm and your body stays warmer. Next thing that goes in the bag is a nice thick wool cap. Once again, that's a head and neck thing. Next thing that goes in the bag, a Bic lighter. If you're wet and you need to get dry, you need a fire. It's self-explanatory. The next thing, I don't care if it's 100. I don't care if it's 110. I don't care how hot it is. The next thing that goes in the bag is always this. A nice thick wool sweater. Needless to say, I also take a raincoat and throw it in the bag, even if it's blue sky for the next month. Getting rained on it's a game changer. Doesn't matter what the temperature is. This kit has served me so well over the years that I wanted to share it with you. Let's say it's 80 degrees, me and some friends are going to go out and go pike fishing. It's t-shirt weather, it's cutoff weather, it's sandal weather. But at 2 o'clock in the morning, it's probably going to be in the 50s. If it gets windy, it's going to be miserable even if it's in the 70s. So you leave the house and it's 85 degrees, and 2 o'clock in the morning you're having a great time and it's dropped down to be about 55 degrees. Open up your dry bag, grab your sweater. Oh man, there's nothing better than being chilly and throwing on a nice, thick, cozy wool sweater. Grab your scarf. Sometimes this is even better than having a sweater. Just something around your neck. Oh man, something to keep your core warm. Oh, that's nice. And your stocking cap. Oh, it feels so much better. There's a million people out there that like to talk about survival stuff, and they all got a different take on things, and they all have ideas of what needs to go in your pack to help you survive if you're in a situation that gets out of hand and you're stranded or you're lost or whatever. But take it from someone who has been hypothermic in a survival situation that I didn't see coming. What I would have wanted more than anything else, I would have wanted a hat, a scarf, and a wool sweater. Those three things would have fixed my problem on that trip. In that situation where you're on a remote stretch of river and you flip a canoe and you're soaking wet, the lighter would have been very beneficial. But with a sweater, with something to keep your neck warm and something to keep your head warm, we would have been fine. And the other key component to that is the dry bag, because it doesn't matter what you have if it gets soaking wet. By the time we found our takeout, for summer in Alaska, it was quite dark. Had we missed that takeout, it would have been another 5 miles until that river got close enough to a road to get off. By that point, we might have been beyond help. These are the things that I would have loved to have had in that situation. Let me clarify one point, and that is about the lighter. If you just had the lighter, you can stop and make a fire and dry out the clothes that you've got on. But still, even in the middle of the summer, if you're going to be out through the day and into the night, and then maybe into the morning hours, even if you do have dry clothes and they're inadequate, it's not going to be enough. That's why I like the sweater, the scarf, and the hat. The lighter will save your butt, but the sweater, the scarf, and the hat will make you comfortable when the temperature drops off. I don't know how many times I've went out in warm, beautiful weather only to get in a situation where it's cold and nasty 6 or 7 hours later. The extra clothes make a huge difference and have come in handy so many times I wouldn't think of leaving home without them. You got a bag that'll keep everything dry. You got a tool that will dry stuff out again. And then you got nice warm clothes. It can be 90 degrees. You pack all this stuff up and you're covered. So thank you guys for watching. Please, if you like what I'm doing, remember to subscribe. Click on the comments below and let me know what you think. Share your story too. If you've got a good survival story, a time when you got yourself in over your head and what you learned from it, please share it. We'd all love to know, and it's good information. Thank you guys for watching Bushradical. Be radical, eh?